fan and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. If you're just joining us on the heels of the last, well, I can't really call it a debate. It was, if you saw Hip Hop Hippie's first appearance on the show and thought, well, it couldn't get any shorter than that, Hip Hop Hippie said, "Hold my beer," and it was a lot shorter than that. You can check out that video for why that happened if you'd like. But anyway, here we are again. We've got a full house. Tonight, I'm actually going to be, as soon as I get done with the opening announcements and that sort of thing, I'm going to be off the screen. I'll still be in the call, but I'm going to hang out with you guys in the live chat. And Dallas Engineer and Fight the Flat Earth are going to be moderating. And we have a guest also sitting in for the stream, which we will introduce here in just a second. I want to get this super chat that I missed from the last one read out real quick. It says, "Thank you, Kyle, for standing up for millions of murdered people. The nerve of that thing is disgusting. My blood was boiling when I heard, and I just went back and watched. Unbelievable, man." I agree, and I'm sorry that anyone had to hear what transpired in the previous stream. So sorry that happened, but we could not deal with that. Okay, let's start off first by introducing Reds. Reds has an announcement. I don't really have to introduce Reds. Everybody knows who Red is. So Red's the ugly plumber from Florida. Would like to make a brief statement before we start. And Reds, whenever you're ready.
All right. So first, how am I coming through? I'm using my cell phone in a very weird city that is not Florida.
You sound shitty, but it'll work.
It sounds shitty. Perfect. So basically, it's normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
So, guys, I have been informed recently that a certain YouTuber who we all lovingly know as G-Man has decided to make some accusations in my direction. These accusations are that I somehow give enough of a shit about this person to hack his secondary channel or his main channel, I'm not exactly sure, and fuck with it in some way, shape, or form, lumping me in with a bunch of people that, quite frankly, I don't like as well. So this is a message to G-Man directly. G-Man, I don't care about you. You literally occupy 0% of my life. And still you think that I would actually waste time trying to fuck with you in some way, shape, or form. Understand this. The group of people that you lump me in with, I am not their friends. Or I'm not their friend. I was, not anymore. I'm doing my own thing. I'm going my own way. So don't lump me with these other individuals that you mentioned in your video supposedly calling us out for hacking your channel. Secondly, understand this. I have my own shit to deal with, and the shit that I'm dealing with is a lot more important than you could ever fucking be. So before you make any sort of assertion that I care enough to hack your channel to make you look bad in any way, shape, or form, know this. One, I don't have to work at all to make you look bad. You do that yourself. And secondly, I don't care enough to even waste even a minute portion of a second to hacking your channel and fucking with you in that way. So G-Man, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again in the hopes that you hear me this time. Leave me the fuck alone. Get my name out of your throat. All right? Leave me the fuck alone. Go away. Do your own thing. All right? So for the rest of you guys, thank you very much for tuning in to the NonSequitur Show. I now pass it off to the moderators to start the shit show, and I will be on my way. Peace out, bitches.
You know what I mean? Thank you, Reds. I'm about to dive out myself. I just wanted to say we will be doing that thing that I did last week tomorrow. However, I just got an email from YouTube, and apparently the whole situation was flagged, and it was put behind an age restriction wall. So I'm going to try tomorrow to be a little bit more careful with my what I talk about, but this got us, gang. This got us. Okay. let me in the conspiracy take a second and introduce yourself to everyone. This is our guest. He'll be sitting in as a patron. If you would like to do this as well, this is a benefit that we offer our patrons. On a tier, you're able to sit in on a show of your choice, and in the conspiracy shows this Saturday night. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then GE and Fight the Flat Earth, you guys are in control, and I will be with you guys in the live chat. So, hi.
Hi, I'm Jay from End the Conspiracy. I have a little YouTube channel. What I do is mainly as I go through and I check out conspiracy theories and try to show some truth involved. I also do a little satire. I've done videos on Godless Engineer and Fight the Flat Earth in the mindset of a conspiracy theorist.
Honored to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciated mine as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. They were fun. I didn't bring him with me today, so you guys don't have to worry about him in getting involved.
Dave, did you say I'm muted? I don't appear to be.
I can hear you.
Oh. All right. GE and Fight the Flat Earth, over to you.
All right, well, heathens, I'm very appreciative that everybody was able to make it here tonight for this debate. We have Schrödinger's cat on the left and Mach Earth on the right. Mach Earth is arguing in favor of a flat Earth, while Schrödinger is telling him how it is. And so tonight, I think it's just a free-form discussion type of debate thing. So I don't know how you guys want to start out. Well, Craig, Fight Flat Earth, do you got anything to start us out with, or you want to say?
Well, I know these two have been clamoring to get this debate done, and I've seen both of their presentations. So how do you guys want to work this? Do you just want to take it in turns to ask each other questions, or do you want to go through your entire presentation and have the other person debunk it?
Yeah, I have a maybe a couple of minute intro, and then maybe if he wanted to do an intro, introduce himself, and then my presentation is pretty short. I think I can get through it in 5 to 10 minutes. I'd rather just bang through it if I could.
Yeah. Oh, why don't you just introduce yourself, then we'll let Mach Earth introduce himself, and then we'll get on with your presentations.
Okay. Forgive me for not looking at the camera. I've got this written down. So I'm Schrödinger's cat. That's the name of my channel, and I appreciate NonSequitur having me on for the third time. I'm becoming quite a celebrity. I try to release new content at least once a week. Sometimes I don't really get there, but my channel's steadily growing, and I appreciate every new subscriber that I can get. So tonight I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. I don't really know what my interlocutor is going to bring to the table because his channel really doesn't have any content. So I know very little about what he's going to say. From what I've seen in his comments, he's happy to quote mod small portions of scientific papers and misrepresent the words of good people in an effort to lead credulous people astray. I do, however, know that he claims to have a working flat Earth model, which we have never seen on this channel or any other. So we can all be excited to see his working model of the flat Earth. In the event that the stupid becomes too strong, I made a little road trip, and Godless Engineer gave me some premium moonshine. So if that becomes necessary, then I'll take a little sip here and there. That's all I have for my intro.
Thanks, buddy. All right, Mach Earth, do you want to take a few minutes to introduce yourself?
Yeah, cool. I'm not really in it for the views. I'm not really in it for building up a channel or making content. I'm in it for the discussion and asking questions, getting answers. That's the main thing, to learn stuff and teach stuff what I've learned. That's the main introduction. I have actually got a PowerPoint which is in the same way. He's got a PowerPoint, so if he wants to go first with his presentation, and then we'll step into mine after
Sounds good.
combating whatever questions
Yeah.
he has. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Dave, have you got the presentations ready?
I was not aware of
Ah, shit.
Schrödinger's
I think they were
presentation.
emailed to you.
I got one. I got
Yes.
Leams. That's the one I got.
2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I emailed it. It was right around noon. Well, no, maybe 1 Eastern.
Well, you emailed it to him or me?
To you and to Craig.
Let me just find
Is
the
wait.
email.
Is it the
There
debate
we go.
presentation? Is it the debate
Yeah.
presentation? Actually, I do have that one.
Yes.
Sorry. I thought that was for the
Okay.
previous. I thought that was for the previous video, and we never got to it. Sorry. All right.
Yeah, now I gotta find my notes for it. Damn it. I'm really bad at this. Give me a couple seconds or else I'll just wing it.
Forget where you put the file.
Here we go. I found it. Okay. Yeah, I got a new MacBook, so I'm trying to figure the new software. Okay. So can we bring up slide 1? I can't see it, so just tell me when it's up. Okay. So I've spent thousands of hours driving Navy ships. One of the tools that we used is called the Big Eyes, which you should be able to see on your screen. And it's basically telescopes that look sort of like binoculars. Slide 2, please. All right. And this is something that we would typically see very often. You can see much more of the freeboard of the ship in the foreground than the ship in the background. This is due to curvature. Can we get slide 3? Okay. So an oncoming ship, this is what it would look like at night. So the white light that you see at the top, that's the mast headlight. And the red and green lights are the port and starboard running lights, respectively. It's very common to see the mast headlight first and then see the port and starboard running lights several nautical miles later as we approach. Can we get slide 4? All right. So another tool we use is GPS. It works in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of miles from land, and that requires satellites. Slide 5, please. So this, what you're seeing here is an Iridium satellite phone. This is another device that works in the middle of the ocean that cannot work without satellites. Therefore, satellites are real. And slide 6. I'm sorry, did you say it was up? Okay, so this is my last example of satellites. This is the screen from my truck. This is satellite channel, XM radio, channel 34. I can listen to this and drive coast to coast without changing my channel. Again, impossible without satellites. And I do recommend channel 34 on XM radio. That's lithium, 90s grunge rock. All right, slide 7, please. All right, another globe proof. As you can see, the latitude lines are parallel, but the longitudinal lines converge as you approach the poles. This matches the charts that we use when we navigate. And as I said in previous debates and in previous videos, we don't get lost and we don't run aground. Our charts are accurate and longitudinal lines converge as you go north and south from the equator. Slide 8, please. All right, this is the Marine Corps Artillery Manual. I don't think anyone would disagree that the Marine Corps artillery and the U.S. military artillery in general is inaccurate. We do a pretty good job of turning live people into dead people when necessary. So let's see what the manual says about Earth rotation. Slide 9, please. Okay, right here you can clearly see that the Earth's rotation is a factor in the accuracy at long distance range. It's right on the screen there. Slide 10, please. Okay, here's another reference to Earth's rotation from that manual. And I found dozens, if not hundreds, of references to Earth's rotation in that manual. And you can pull up any artillery manual that you want. I've seen more than I can count. They all refer to Earth rotation and its effect on the accuracy of artillery at range. Slide 11, please. This is my last slide. And here is that same manual's reference to the Coriolis force. So we've heard so many times from flat earthers that Coriolis force is not accounted for and does not enter into any sort of equation that we use when making long distance, calls for fire. So for this and many other reasons, it's clear that the Earth is a rotating spheroid, and I relinquish the rest of my time to the moderators. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks for that. Now, I suppose we should just get Gleam to. Should I call you Gleam or Mach Earth? Sorry.
Yeah, just say Gleam. Just say Gleam.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, no worries.
Mach Earth's just a next channel. Yeah.
Do you just want to get on and present your PowerPoint, and then you can both have a discussion about them afterwards?
Yeah, well, I'll respond with that. Half of it I have actually got within the PowerPoint, and there's better explanations and pictures and stuff. So the curvature and the hidden ship, that can be explained by the limited distance that you can see of the floor. And I'll explain in the PowerPoint and you'll be able to see. The GPS, you showed plentiful radar there, which obviously can carry the frequency of GPS, 1500 megahertz. But at the end of the day, there is, for a reliance on GPS, there's a known issue with that. It could be deadly out in the ocean. If you just relied on GPS solely, you'd be stupid. But either way, no, I agree. Either way, it works. The system works. And I don't actually disbelieve satellites exist. And I think that's one misconception that globe earthers think, because flat earthers do believe there's something up there. They're just satelloons. They're not actually satellites in deep space. They're just satelloons. That's not something I personally believe. But obviously that's something I should have said in my introduction. I'm actually open to both being true. I can't prove to anyone, and I'll get into more depth in a minute, but just going through exactly what you've just pointed out there. The convergence of the South Pole and the North Pole, or versus the North Pole, the North Pole would do the same on a flat Earth as well, because that would converge. However, the flat Earth would not obviously converge at the South Pole. It would all scatter out. and there's something in my slideshow that I want you to see on that to rebuttal that. The artillery, the effect of Coriolis, and the vortex of Aether. And I know that's going to sound crazy straight away, but again, I've got that in the PowerPoint, which will cover. But I'm coming from the standpoint of, is flat Earth really impossible? And I don't actually believe that anyone on the panel or anyone watching can actually prove 100% either model, whether flat earther, whether globe earther. They can't actually prove either model with 100% certainty, because you can't do the relevant falsification to prove either model wrong. And that's a personal opinion, that's a personal belief, and that's what Mach Earth is all about, basically. So I don't know whether I can go into any rebuttal to what I've just said there, or should I just go straight into my PowerPoint, because that will answer the majority of exactly what you've just said.
I think just do your presentation, and then you can have a discussion about your presentations afterwards.
Yep. Can we roll on? And there's about 20 slides here, but if I can just quickly run through the slides. I'm not going to actually try and not babble. That's what I'll try and do. So either way, if we can go on to slide 2, it just lists the contents of what I was going to say. I've got some statements that I want to make about all of us, about the genericness of this, or the basicness of this, and then some common misconceptions. And then I'm going to present some evidence, including, I'm not saying a completely working flat Earth model, but I'm going to show you how a flat Earth model is actually used in science on a daily basis, on many forms of many realms. So either way, if we can go on to the next one. So I've got some definite theories that is my belief, that makes my belief. And the first one I want to give an analogy about. It's probably going to take me a minute, and then we'll just skip through the rest. And the last two are basically the main things that I've just said there. So both theories, concepts, and models of both sides, flat Earth and globe Earth, were all built from observed reality. And the analogy I want to give is that me and Cliff, we wake up shipwrecked on an island together and lose memory. So we don't know who we are, how we got there. We just know we're there. And the whole point is, months into it, when we're just surviving, we've set up camp, we're all chilling, everything's fine, we're having a drink, and we say, where do we reckon we live? Do we live on a flat Earth, or do we live on a sphere? And as friends, we basically get together. He says, I want to design a globe Earth model, see whether that fits and the data works, and I'm gonna put my data to that. I'm going to say, I'm going to do a flat Earth model, and we'll meet at the end and we'll see the results. And in my view, I reckon we both come up with mathematically correct models, and they both work based on observed reality, because that's exactly what mankind has done. We've just used observed reality and created a model from that. And it doesn't necessarily mean either is true, but it obviously means that one has to be true. But just to skip down the list then, so both theories of multiple models used in modern day science. And I've got some citations right at the end of that. I'll gloss over that for now, but I'll show you exactly what models are used. And plane surveying is a particular model that's used with success and is tangible and works. And that's not neglecting geodetic surveying, but that's just one example of a flat Earth model that actually works on a small scale to an extent. So each model has different concepts to explain different recorded phenomenon. So a flat Earth would say, no, that's not Earth curvature. That is actually the limit of the human eye, or limit of the camera device. And that is an apparent horizon made by this limit. And then on both models, you can predict something, you can calculate something to a certain degree. Yet the globe Earth model is not perfect, and neither is the flat Earth. So on both models, This is two big bold statements. On both models, you experience a flat Earth, and that's commonly known in science. You experience a flat Earth because you're such a small human on a massive surface, and then on both models, humans imagine a globe Earth. Okay, so obviously flat earthers think that humans are imagining it, and humans have to imagine it to think that you're on a spinning globe Earth. Now, I say my challenge is no one on this Earth, whatever it is, a sphere or flat, could actually prove it with ultimate falsification, because there's always an alternative explanation for whatever phenomenon you're presenting. So the next and final one is the argument of whether the flat Earth is impossible versus possible is my opinion of what this debate should be about. If it's impossible, then there should be no more debate about it. But if it's proven that there's ambiguity and there is a possibility, then obviously debate should carry on. So can I have the next slide, please? And there's common misconceptions throughout it, and some people are not going to like this, but I believe these to be true. So the first one is that when people say all other planets are spheres, why ain't Earth a sphere? And then in my eyes, well, Earth is different because there's trillions of forms of life on Earth. So that is a complete difference to all them other spheres. So what's to say, if you turn it relatively, what's to say spheres can't harbor life? Only flat Earths can harbor life. I've never seen no one tackle that actual point of view. So next one, why can't you see over to the other side of the flat Earth? And that's because of your human eyes, your limits, your optical aid limits, and obviously the atmospheric conditions. How can the sun and the bottoms of buildings and the ship, as you just said in your first one, be hidden? And that's due to this exact same thing. You've got a limit of how far you can see on the surface, as well as a limit that you can see in the sky, and they're two different limits. And we'll get to that with a little Photoshop that I've done. So how many millions would have to be in on a conspiracy to hide the flat Earth? And I say none. It doesn't actually have to be a conspiracy. It can just be a basic human mistake where a flat Earth would present itself as a globe Earth and calculate as a globe Earth as well as a flat Earth. And that sounds weird, but in my eyes, possible. So the flat Earth doesn't have a working model. This is one thing that a lot of people have a misconception about. And the globe Earth model does have a working model. And the reality is that flat Earth is used in daily science, whether it be satellites, whether it would be in the air, as in Air Force would use a flat Earth for approximation. And I fully understand that doesn't prove a flat Earth. And that's why I'm a Mach Earther, not a flat Earther. But at the end of the day, it's used because it's easier and it produces tangible results. It's even used in seismology. It's used on the ground for surveying. It's used in all forms of science. So it's actually helped advance it because it's made it quicker. The calculations weren't as long as your arm. So either way, it can predict. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, the globe Earth model, all the classical physics of Newton, Kepler, all actually fail on long distances as well as small distances. So without invoking magical virtual particles, dark matter, dark energy, none of it actually works. You've had to come up with new theories to patch it up, and you can't actually explain 95% of the whole universe. So another misconception is ether was removed from science and they didn't detect it in the Michelson-Morley experiment. So in my view, and in the original paper, ether has been detected in all experiments, and it was never removed from science. It was just Einstein renamed it to space-time as a geometry. So final one, the universe can't be small and local because we see for billions of light years out there. And it's not that our eyes go out and grab that light. It's the light arrives to our eyes after traveling that distance. So, and that's depending on models. So it can be smaller depending on the flat Earth model. So have you any objections to any of them that I've already just said there? And we can go into more depth on the ones that you disagree with.
Give me just a second to finish writing. Okay. Oh God, there's so much. I don't even. Okay.
Sorry.
The plane state coordinate system. Okay, this is gisgeography.com. The plane state coordinate system. The plane state coordinate system uses a secant case of transverse Mercator projection. It cuts through the spheroid along two small circles at a specific distance from a certain meridian. So I think we can dispense with that. Let me mark that out on here. State coordinate system, we're done with that. You said that we would be in, it would be dumb for us to solely rely on GPS at sea. Who told you that we solely rely on GPS at sea?
No, it was just to put it in the magnitude. To say that, yes, you can use GPS, but you cannot rely on GPS with your life.
No, we don't. So let me line that one out. A satelloon. Are you aware that there's wind of course, jet far streams up in the sky? Okay, jet so let's line that one out. Yep, jet streams. Let's line that one out.
They can use the jet streams. Yep.
Now, longitudinal lines do converge at the South Pole. So
okay, we can approach that. There is a slide which deals with that, which is slide 6 there, David.
I'm happy to look at that real fast if you want. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a blast. The fuck is that?
Okay. So it's just two sets of maps, two most common ones, Google Earth, who obviously uses NASA and an amalgamation of many maps, as well as their own, and NASA's own. And if you can see top left, sorry, was you going to say something?
I'm just wondering if you know what a map is. Like, where's
I understand.
Where's the distance scale? Where's the legend at the bottom? Where what could anybody possibly do with that thing that you're calling a map?
This is mapping of the Earth.
No, so it's not.
Obviously, you've heard Google Earth of being a map and a model of the spherical Earth, or is that completely not what it is?
Now, would you use that to navigate in any fashion or form?
I'm sure there are navigation tools and apps on your phone that do use that.
Yeah, but they provide
not the world view, not the NASA world view one, but Google's service. Yes.
Can you show me longitudinal lines on that picture that you brought up? And can you show me them and not converging at the pole?
No, this is the point. We're stepping ahead a second. Okay, the thing is, there is a whole Antarctica there. The flat Earth argument is it's around the edge. Okay, so the mapping of Earth or Antarctica.
I'm getting into the moonshine.
Well, the whole point is the most important part is the South Pole. Okay, so
where are the longitudinal lines?
There are longitudinal lines on Google Earth maps. Come on.
Do they converge at the pole?
Of course they do, because the model
All right,
is
so we can
designed
line that
to
one
do
out.
so. Are you completely hand wave dismissing the actual point that you can see on the screen?
What am I supposed to be looking at on this screen?
Is that the mapping of it does not fit.
Can you elaborate?
Needs to be stretched. Yes, the mapping of it needs to be stretched and skewed.
Yes, when you take a 3D, when you take this thing and you make a 2D thing out of it, you have to stretch or skew it. So you're not telling me anything I don't know. So we lined that one out.
There is a direct point in Antarctica. And you see in the NASA worldview shows you how the satellites go over, but then miss it for 3 months of the year. But you can cross that one out.
I don't even know what that means. That satellites miss it. What's the it that it misses?
You just saw the picture. The middle bottom picture was with Antarctica missing and it all jagged. You see? Bottom middle.
So?
How does that happen on a globe?
Because the satellite didn't go over that part?
Does it stop or carry on?
What stop or carry? What?
You have a look on the left how the strips are made. That's easy to comprehend how the strips are made.
What satellite are we talking about? Do you know that there's more than one satellite?
Well, NASA worldview is the NASA worldview is an amalgamation of all their satellites.
No, it's an amalgamation of several of their satellites, but not all of their satellites. They don't just put satellites up there to make pretty pictures.
You can add layers of each individual satellite. It's an amalgamation, and it's their daily view. It's daily. It's happening minute by minute. You can go there now, and you'll see half of it filled in.
Yes.
So
okay.
The point I'm making is they're going down in the strip. If you can imagine it coming down from right to left. Okay. It goes to the Antarctica. What happens? Do they switch it off? Do they not carry on? If not, why not?
Does it make sense to you that perhaps for economic sake, they don't take pictures of the least inhabited place in the known world?
No, that
could that possibly be true?
Not
then
when
I can't help you further on this point.
Not when in the recent 5 years there's been a massive glacier snap off of it. You would have thought that they would like to keep an eye on it. But
do you think perhaps there's other satellites that are looking at it? Maybe. Or are these the only satellites?
If I could just interrupt a sec, I feel like I need to bring it back on topic a little bit. I don't feel, Gleam, like you addressed his points of the actual longitudinal lines
at all.
So this is what I'm saying. The longitudinal lines are on the model of a Google Earth. Do we agree there? At that point, you can click them on,
and they converge at the poles.
And they converge at the poles as the model should do. Yes. If it was a flat
and
Earth,
they converge on our nautical charts that we use to navigate.
Yes. If it was a flat Earth, there would be ambiguity at the South Pole.
Thank you. I think we're done here.
But this is what I'm saying. There is ambiguity. I've just shown you it. Missing.
No.
Why would it be missing? Okay, they're just going, let's save batteries.
I think I need to clarify a point here again. Right. What Cliff is saying is that the navigational charts that are actually used to navigate have all that data on, including a little bit that's probably missing on the picture, with the longitudinal and latitude lines that converge at the South Pole, yet he doesn't crash his ship when he is basing his calculations on distance on the model that we accept.
For 6
And if
months
the
of
Earth
the
was
year,
if the Earth was flat, then the charts that he uses would be inaccurate, and he would crash his ship all the time.
They'd be wildly inaccurate in the southern hemisphere.
for 6 months of the year, Antarctica is the same size as 1.5 times Europe. It's massive.
So
You're not going to be able to even get down to the bit where it converges for a ship.
it would
Antarctica-
Again,
converge.
that doesn't actually. Sorry, I just feel like the actual point
Jesus
is
Christ.
being skipped around. The point is that the navigational charts that are used are accurate, and he doesn't crash a ship when he uses them. And they have the converging longitudinal lines that is also represented on the globe.
They've been made to, because the model
And-
works. I'm not saying that it doesn't work.
Okay.
What I'm saying
You
is that
said
it
you had a
also-
working model.
listen.
Where is it?
Listen. Also, it works on a flat Earth too.
Show us.
Well,
We're waiting.
You know, all it is a transforming coordinates to project a map.
Show
And
us.
that's all it would be.
I'm not even halfway through my rebuttal, but show us this working model that you have. I have 2 screenshots of you saying that you have a working model in comment sections.
Well, it depends working in what forms. The working model I was probably in reference
In the
to
form
is
that it's working.
in as much as it's working to explain photographs, which is probably what I was in relation to.
Craig, if I'm selling you a car and you ask me if it's working, and I ask you, in what sense do you mean working? Would you buy the car?
I'd go somewhere else and buy a car from someone who knew what they were talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah, but then you're specifying a car, which is a specific thing to do a specific thing. Now,
yeah,
what
like
do you
a
want
model.
to work Yeah, what do you want the model of? I can give you a model of flat Earth universe and explain 6%. That would be 1% more than what the globe Earth can explain.
For Christ's sake. I want a model
So
of a
it's-
flat Earth for which
To
I
do
can
what with?
navigate my ship up the Elizabeth River and into the Atlantic Ocean. Can you provide one?
You can use a map for that.
I'm sorry I brought you guys this person. I apologize. He didn't say that dragons made the continent, so at least I'm not that bad.
Either way, if you expect me to have a map and have mapped the Earth, then that's silly. That's silly when maps
Dave.
can be projected. Maps can be
Dave, can
projected. You understand this point.
Dave, can you look up to? I only have a few more slides there. Can you find the one where he says that he has a working model?
We'll see in what context, because it will probably be.
I mean, with respect,
vision,
Gleam,
why
again,
things are
in my
hidden.
capacity as a moderator, I think we need to clarify the term of what a model is. A model is a mathematical representation that accurately predicts reality. And I think Cliff is asking you to give him an accurate reflection of reality that is a flat Earth, because he can present you with a globe and a map on the globe that accurately reflects reality and can make predictions. So can you give him the same thing?
Is this comment ambiguous at all? Pretty sure it's pretty clear.
I'm sure it's to do with exactly what I was just talking about there, which is,
yeah.
If you can bring up slide, let's cut straight to the chase. which is the model. If you go into slide 14, please, David. This is the hidden part on the apparent horizon of a flat Earth. So that is the concept for the model on making observations over sea or over land.
And
the map.
What?
If you can understand the actual datum points that have been laid for those latitude and longitude lines, those have been laid based on reality. And I said right back at the beginning of this that both models are built off the same reality, the same
Where
measurement.
are latitude and longitude lines
Right,
on this picture?
Sorry, yeah, I need to. I'm only doing this as a moderator because the actual point keeps being missed. You made the positive claim, Gleam,
what do you
that there are
want? And-
converging lines of longitude on a flat Earth, but that would not be the.
Are you guys
Well, I just want.
seriously
I just
have
want.
Have you not
let me just let me just clarify. You made
not
a
seen an
positive claim
azimuthal
that
equidistant map?
Wait. Yeah, just let me speak, please. I'm not here, and I need to clarify this because the point keeps getting skipped around. You made the positive claim that there is converging lines of longitude at the South Pole on a flat Earth model. Can you demonstrate that fact?
No, it's diverging. It's converging on a globe.
Yeah, and in reality, and with nautical navigation charts.
Yeah, but all it is a switch of coordinates. That's exactly the difference between a spherical map and a flat
No,
Earth
it's
map,
really not.
That's
that right. I'm sorry, but you are missing the point that Cliff is bringing up. The point that Cliff is bringing up is that if you had that map on a flat Earth with the diverging lines of longitude, and you tried to follow navigational charts based on that, you would crash your ship. You cannot have the converging and diverging and it be the same thing. That's what Cliff's point is. You made the positive claim that the convergence of longitudinal lines at the South Pole is exactly the same on a flat Earth. Now, really, to move this debate forward, you need to provide positive proof of that claim, please.
It's an azimuthal equidistant projection.
Just saying what the map is doesn't explain what we are. Clean. I'm sorry, but you are completely missing the point. You're completely missing the point because if you followed navigational charts that Cliff is talking about and then tried to base that on a flat Earth model with diverging lines of longitude towards the outer rim, you would crash your ship. It doesn't match reality, and that is the point that Cliff is saying.
Do you think, Gleam, that there is some ship captain out there using an AE map for navigation? Anywhere, any captain, he would be mad.
They would be using a flat projected screen with the coordinates projected onto a flat screen.
And what would the longitudinal lines do south of the equator as you travel south?
They would be getting Cartesian coordinates and adjusting itself to the model, whatever one you would
they
choose,
be converging or diverging?
Of course, they will be converging.
Yes, thank you, sir. All right,
move on the point because you don't understand the difference between a spherical model and map versus a flat Earth model and map.
Yeah,
you don't understand that.
I drove Navy ships. You didn't. So let's move on. You said we cannot 100% certain, with 100% certainty, say the Earth is a globe. Who said that we needed to? I am maximally certain. I am as certain that the Earth is a globe as I am that GE is not on camera right now. Damn it, GE. Came back on camera. So we can mark that one out. The number of people that would have to be in on the conspiracy. Well, there would at least have to be 500. because that's how many people have been to space. So when you said 0 people have to be in on the conspiracy, I can
Space
at a
exists.
minimum say 500.
Why doesn't
and
space
then-
exist on flat Earth? Sorry, we'll tick that off. Go on.
Well, all the people that are putting the, what did you call them? Satelloons. The people that are putting the satelloons would have to be lying, so they would have to be in on it. So we can mark that one out.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
This whole conspiracy with the everybody they're being hidden. You would have to have every member of every government in every country on the planet for hundreds of years in on this conspiracy. Someone down the line would have leaked it, and we have seen no evidence of it from anywhere.
0 deathbed confessions.
So there is this whole, it's a big conspiracy that we're hiding. The proof of the flat Earth just does not work.
You know what I'm going to do on my deathbed? I'm going to say, we were faking it the whole time. The Earth is flat. And then Jaredism will blow a load in his pants. All right. Here's my last rebuttal to the things that you said before. That the ether was never taken out of the standard model. When did Michelson Morley, after they did their experiment, say that there was an ether? Can you show me a citation of when they said there was an ether?
Michelson always believed there was an ether.
Citation required.
On slide, give me 2 seconds. Slide 18, David.
That's too blurry to read.
Yeah. The quote is, this conclusion directly contradicts the explanation which presupposes the Earth moves.
Okay.
And that was in the American Journal of Science. So they still thought the ether existed. It was just in a different form. No one by then. I mean, you had Albert Einstein. Sorry, you had Albert Einstein in 1920 doing a lecture in the University of Leiden saying that according to relativity, space without ether is unthinkable. So if it was deleted and removed in 1889, then why is he doing that? Why is he saying that?
Because he was saying that that was unthinkable at that time. And then they came up with better science. Michelson Morley was succeeded by Michelson Gale that also proved that there was no ether. So they did what all science does when a proposition is disproven. They do more tests and come up with better results.
So why is the Einstein ether theory used in modern day science, 2019?
Citation required.
You can look up Einstein ether. It's hyphenated in between. Let me see if I've got one here. I'm sure I have, which is on slide 17. It's the very top paper. 2004, and then if you look halfway down, more than halfway, 3/4 of the way down,
if you would be so okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, it says cosmologically viable generalized Einstein ether theories and gravitational waveforms, polarizations, response functions, and energy losses of triple systems in Einstein ether theory. And the concept
Can you provide
is
the
exactly
context?
identical. It's exactly identical.
You're saying that.
They are using relativity, but bringing back the substance of an ether to fill the background as a replacement of dark matter, dark energy. They're retesting old theories.
So you're talking about this Mach principle, I suppose.
No, that's slightly different. That's the fundamental core of relativity.
So are you saying that Einstein did not oppose the idea of dark matter?
No, Einstein ether theories were not created by Einstein. They were created later in
Okay, so then
1960s.
how are they Einstein ether theories if Einstein didn't come up with them?
Because modern day science are looking for alternative theories, because 95% of the universe is dark stuff that they don't know anything about.
Okay, could I come up with a theory today and call it the Newton, the pixie dust theory, and then attribute it to Newton?
There is such thing. It's called MOND, which is modified Newtonian dynamics, and that was the response.
I'm aware of MOND. So could I attribute that to Galileo and say that Galileo came up with MOND?
You can do as you please. Whether science accepts that, whether you get a peer-reviewed publication.
Okay, you're telling me that Newton or that Einstein believed there was an ether. You're showing me a citation and then telling me that it came after Einstein.
Einstein believed in space-time. Space-time is the same mathematics as ether. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. For Christ's sake, Jesus. I don't even know where to...
Let me tell you the back history. It's in...
Please, it'll be very entertaining.
If you go to Ether 1, which is slide number 9.
GE, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. That road trip was worth it.
So slide number 9 is the actual original paper for the MMX, and that was to say that they did actually detect something. It didn't get rid of it, and a table there showing that there's a positive detection of something in the background. And then if you go to number 10, please, David.
For Christ's sake.
So it was Lorentz who actually introduced length contraction and time dilation, and that was his effort to save the ether. And
no, it wasn't. Holy fuck! Do you even read these papers?
Yeah, you can go to the history of. You can go to the history of special relativity, and it describes it exactly as I'm explaining it.
Can you explain to me what an error bar is?
Error bar.
An error bar.
No, I can't.
Error bar.
No.
Error.
An error bar. Yes.
ERROR bar.
Yes. It's an amount of deviation due to background noise. I know exactly what route you're taking that.
Okay, so that's what that was. They detected a small amount of deviation, and that was attributed to the error bar. As they repeated the experiment in future years with better equipment, the error bar became smaller.
They could filter out a lot more, and a lot better, but it never became zero.
It never will become zero.
Well, this is it. But to lead on this slide, either way, the next part was, once Lorentz had the mathematics of length contraction and time dilation, that's when Einstein inverted the frame, and literally he applied, obviously he had the photoelectric effect, which made the photon, and it rendered the ether medium unnecessary because he could explain the actual geometry of the disturbance of the ether with space-time, which was using the maths of Lorentz's contraction and time dilation. But then fast forward to 1951, Paul Dirac, the father of quantum electrodynamics, he's in Nature, saying that you have to accept there must be an ether, there must be a background radiation or 0 point energy.
Okay, so a guy that I haven't heard of said something.
Paul Dirac.
So, yeah, I haven't heard of him. How did we get so far from flat Earth so fast?
This isn't far from flat Earth. This is to do with ether. This is to
What
do
does
with
ether have to do with flat Earth?
Ether was one of the primary evidences of a non-rotating Earth.
What does rotation have to do with a circle or a sphere?
No, it's the difference between stationary and non-stationary.
Okay. This is stationary. Is it a sphere?
Of course.
Question mark. Thank you, sir. Can we get back on topic?
Is this the level? Okay. So
I've got a level
the
in here
topic,
too. I can get a level.
Yep. That is the true level then. Okay. So let me put something on the table that will make you double shot. There we go. That will give you a double shot. Let me propose.
I need a double shot right now.
Yeah. Let me propose then. There, in my mind, there is more evidence Eratosthenes was a flat earther than he was a globe earther.
Okay. That would be news to Craig and Sly Sparkane, who both are, well, Sly already did a Eratosthenes experiment, and Craig is currently doing one. So they should both be interested
Mine
in this.
currently has over 500 data points.
Okay, if we can bring up slide 5, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why I think this.
So far, your thinking hasn't borne much fruit. So,
okay, well, I'm a hard oak, let's say, not a vine. Anyway, so Eratosthenes, he lived before Jesus Christ, and there's less accounts of his existence, and that's no joke because obviously the Great Library of Alexandria was burnt down, and there was only.
I imagine that would be the case considering Jesus is the Messiah of an entire religion. I imagine there would be more accounts of his existence.
I could argue, but don't want to go into.
I think GE might want to say something about that.
I could argue. Sorry.
Yeah, I would contest that, but you know, this is not the topic.
Yeah, it's way off topic.
Yeah, I could argue that Eratosthenes is like the equivalent of Jesus Christ for the globe religion, but either way, he lived in a time when flat Earth was a common belief. In my eyes, from what I've seen, it didn't actually switch over to become globe earthers. Pythagoras and all them had to set up a different school and teach their teachings of the globe underground. So He's known as the father of geography, and he actually invented the coordinate system using a flat Earth map over there on the right. And that didn't account for any curvature. So, as I say, he was the head of the Great Library of Alexandria, later burned by Caesar. He's a public figure in a time where flat earthers is the common belief. And at 18 years old, he conducted that experiment and died when he was 80 and never once authored a spherical Earth map or even left a hint of it. Could have been burnt, obviously, but there is no recollection of it. Now, on the opposite side of the Earth, a Chinese Eratosthenes done exactly the same experiment using a flat Earth model successfully in 120 BC. And it just proves that it's cross-model compatible. So it works on both models. The maths are identical. You get something out, you get a number out. So is there any objections?
I mean,
stupid
can I just clarify that can I just clarify, Gleam, that you think that an Eratosthenes experiment with 500 data points would still yield the same results for a flat Earth?
If you project it on the correct flat Earth model using the correct perspective maths.
Well, flat is flat.
Would you be willing to take part in Craig's experiment?
Yeah, I've been asking this I've been asking this to every flat earther, and you know what? Out of the 500 people, there is 4 flat earthers that have agreed to take part in the experiment. So when it's going to be late July that I do it, and if you want to be involved and add your data point, then I would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously, I heard about it the other day, and I was contemplating it in my own head, saying, yeah, why not? Because I think you said back then that you hadn't had any at all on one of your live ones.
But no, it's only in the past kind of week that I've had a few flat earthers actually say they want to get involved.
Well, I might just do that. Just to see. Do you then share all the rest of the data points with everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. What I plan to do is to do a 24-hour stream so that throughout the whole day, data points from the entire world can be collected, and I'm going to live map them onto a globe model and a flat model.
Yeah, I would love to then.
Great. Actually, it would probably be a lot more value added if Gleam would give you his flat model and we could map it onto that.
Well, this is it. I'm a data analyst. I'm a data analyst by trade, and I would love to be able to get all the data points, map it all out, and then act as if it is a flat Earth and see if I could explain it on there. If I can't, then
why not just give Craig your flat model, and we could all do it together?
Well, this is it. I would give everything back over, including all the formulas, everything, full explanation. I'm not shy on even if it proves a globe. I am not.
But we're all here right now. Why not show us your flat model?
Because we haven't got the data.
We're all here right now. How many people are watching right now, Craig?
There's 700.
700 people watching, waiting for your flat model.
The flat model is obviously when the sun goes down, it doesn't go behind a curve. It goes down because it's going away from you. That's simple. And then
that's not a model.
Limit. That is a model. That's how you calculate these observations of shadows. You can see the maths in that Eratosthenes thing there. You've got the height
which works for
and the tangent from that.
Okay, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah,
please.
Okay, so you say that the sun appears to get smaller and go underneath the Earth.
No,
I mean, why don't we see that anywhere else? Also, why doesn't the sun's angular size change at all?
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't actually change. That's the thing. If you put my slide back up, which is
Well, no, hold on there, Mach. You said that it seems to go like beyond the horizon because it's getting smaller, but yet it doesn't change
No.
size?
no, not because it's getting smaller. I'll show you. If you bring up slide 14, because you've got to understand there's 3,000 miles, let's say, on the flat Earth model upwards at zenith. That's a lot more distance than you can see across the Earth. Okay, so you see how are we in agreement that everybody sees an apparent rise in the floor in front of them? Is that correct or incorrect? How so?
Cliff, I think he means in relation to perspective lines converging in the distance, the floor would rise up to the middle and the ceiling would go down to the middle. You know,
like
when
if
you're looking at things
hallway.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
So
not the
floor
horizon
would
eye
appear to rise
level.
up. No, not that.
Yeah,
No.
the horizon. Yeah, that's the horizon rising to eye level is nonsense.
Yeah.
But you do agree with. So I just want to clarify for you, Glenn.
Oh yeah,
You do agree.
yeah.
You do agree, Cliff, that the floor would apparently rise to the middle and the ceiling would apparently drop to the middle in a long corridor, right?
Yeah, with the hallway. Yes.
All right, sorry, Gleam. I just wanted to get that clarified for you, so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, I don't want to strawman you.
Yeah, no. Another clarity is: do the eyes have a limit of how far they can see in the distance?
No.
No.
How so?
Because we can see stars that are light years away, like hundreds of light years away. It depends on their brightness, their size. There's multiple factors.
That was one of my common misconceptions there. Your eyes don't reach out to get that light. That light comes to your eye. And a human eye has got visual acuity of 0.02 degrees, which is a limit.
What do you mean your eyes reaching out?
They don't reach out.
What does that even mean? Of course they don't.
But you're acting as if we see light so far, so distant. It's not. That light comes to your eye. It's taken that long to get to your eye based on your model. Do you understand that? No.
Yeah, it's like saying in the morning the sun comes up, and then acting as if I don't understand that in the morning the sun comes up. Like what the?
Yeah.
What was that?
Right. So are you both in agreement that light travels and you see the light that has traveled?
Yeah, this isn't.
I just want to see
Riley saying light doesn't travel.
Do you both agree that if I stood a mile away with a torch, that you would see the light that has come from the torch and traveled a mile? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd call it a flashlight.
Do you both agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, a mile away. Yes.
Right.
But there will come a point. So if we are both 6 feet, there will come a point which is approximately around 3.25 miles. There will come a point where both of our eyes will not be able to resolve each other without any curve on a flat surface.
Right, but what if we're twice as right? What if we're 2 times as big and 2 times as bright? Would we still not be able to see each other at that distance?
You would be able to see each other if you were 2 times as big. It's to do
with
the actual Rayleigh scattering. It's exactly that.
Okay.
That is the limit of your eye. There is a limit of how much you can see of the floor.
Well, Rayleigh scattering really only happens in the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, it's not to do with that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Craig. Rayleigh scattering does not happen in the vacuum of space. Am I right?
Yeah.
Raleigh scattering happens in the upper atmosphere when sunlight, hits the atmosphere.
Right.
So what causes the
But
scattering.
not in the vacuum of space. I don't think Rayleigh
Right.
scattering happens there.
Right, Gleam, can I ask you a question here? Okay, so say you had a camera that could measure a certain amount of pixels, okay? And when you are 5 miles away, 1 pixel is 1 foot, okay? If you had a light source that was less than 1 foot in diameter, could the camera still see that light?
As long as it occupied more than more than, let's say, half the full pixel, yes.
No, that's wrong. You would still see the light no matter how big the actual thing is. Sean Hufford actually did a very good video called The Power of E that explains this very well, as where him and Red took a drone, flew it out a certain distance, and then calculated the the actual diameter that 1 pixel of the camera would be able to see, and the laser pointer was way less than that, yet the camera could still see the light from the laser, even though the laser emitter was far too small in angular resolution for the camera to make out.
Unknown. I can't explain that. But at the end of the day, it was more when you're talking aperture. So when you increase your zoom and you zoom in, you are zooming in on a particular, you bring into view a smaller section of the whole section, exactly like the videos that you've seen where they're at the beach, clear horizon, zoom in, a boat appears. It's exactly the same as that, where to go from one to the other, you need to modify that and zoom in. Our eyes only have one set zoom, or within a specific range, tiny frequency range. That's why we need telescopes. That's why we need cameras to increase that. Do you understand that limit? That's the limit I'm on about.
What does frequency range have to do with our visual acuity?
It's not to do.
You just said frequency range.
No.
So in the power
refraction and scattering.
Right. So in the video that Sean Hufford did with The Power of E, there was 0 zoom on the camera. It's nothing to do with how far away light is that it's not going to get to you. I think this is what Cliff's trying to say to you, and seems to be getting missed somewhere, is that no matter how far away the light source is, even if the light source is too small, you will still be able to see the light, because that's how light works. Light travels. So Cliff's trying to explain to you that your eyes don't have this limit that you're talking about, because we can see the light from stars that are so far away that the stars are too small for us to see, but we can still see the light from them. For instance, the only time that the angular size of the laser emitter was 245 times smaller than the angular resolution of a single pixel, yet the camera was still able to make out the light from the laser emitter. And it's the same thing with stars. They're so far away, they're too small for us to see, but we can still see the light.
Let me get this out real fast before it leaves my head. The only time that we can't see a star is when it has reached the cosmic horizon, in which it has been basically either redshifted into oblivion, or we have it's so far away that its light has not even reached us yet. That's when you can't see something anymore.
Yeah. So
sorry, G.
Hold on. No, that's fine. We do have to go into super chat, so I do need you guys to sort of give like your final thoughts, final words, something like that, and then we're going to go directly into super chat. So, Mach Earth, if you want to say something, you got to be quick. You can't be long-winded about it, okay? Because we got to get to super chats. If you want to go first, go right on ahead.
Yeah, I think we ticked all the boxes there for Schrödinger's cat. Maybe not for me. That's all I can really say. There was a lot of deflection and going down one steering path, but either way, each to their own. Thank you very much for letting us on, and thank you very much, Schrödinger's cat. Thank you very much,
Yes,
both
sir.
of you. Fight the flat Earth, and you, godless engineer. Big up.
I want to say, Gleam, just thank you for being amicable. This was much better than a complete horrible dumpster fire with a Holocaust denier. So thank you.
Agree.
Cliff, do you want to give a couple of minutes your final thoughts?
Yes, sir. I do appreciate Gleam. He was an affable fellow. He did. I'm not even going to get into him, the whole liar thing, but yeah, no, I appreciate him. I did think he is a different sort of flat earther-ish person. So there was some value added to this. I'm at about I'm going to plug myself here real fast. I'm at about 450 subscribers. Really trying to get to 1,000 here pretty soon. I got a bet with my wife that I'm trying to win, that I can get to 1,000 in a certain time frame. So I'm putting content out when I can. I'm going to do something for Memorial Day here real soon. I want to go over to Norfolk Naval Base and film some ships, talk about them, totally aside from the flat Earth thing, and put out a quick video about that. So any subscriber I get, I appreciate. And thank you, Craig and GE, for hosting me again. And thank you, Non-Sequitur Show.
Awesome. All right. Well, Bullionator is going to be getting to our super chat. So, Dave, you think you can get this pulled up?
Sure. Before I read those, though, I do want to say thank you to End the Conspiracy for being a patron and enjoying his perk for being here and chiming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
No problem. So super chat. Robert Leger III. Thank you, Kyle, for standing up for millions of murdered people. The nerve of that thing is disgusting. My blood was boiling when
Indeed.
I heard, and I just went back and watched. Unbelievable. Chris Cool says, if our sight is limited, how far can we see above? Tatted Philosophy says, U.S. carriers use GPS to navigate. IC3 here.
Hello, IC3. Navy guys.
Yes, Navy guys. Wesley Smith, how come not one flat Earth map or pic ever been leaked through to humanity? Just on that, I bank impossible. Okay. Bombay says, to piggyback on Chris Krull's question, how come we can zoom in on the whole moon that's 3,000 miles away, but not a ship that's 100 miles away? Question. Virillion says, mathematically show the orbit of the sun on a flat Earth that comports to both season and daylight hours. That's a good challenge there. Vyasa says, flat Earth model work in the small scale is absolutely bollock. Earth is large. Once curve becomes apparent, it starts falling apart. MA2 Fletcher Eiler says, you will not hear anyone say the globe model is perfect. You will, however, hear people say it is accurate. More than any flat Earth model. My Unfinished Journey
Hello,
says,
MA2.
I can feel my brains leaking out of my ear. Princess April Van Ryn says, I got blocked for saying hashtag free nunbot. Awesome show, but not everyone needs to be a mod. Okay. Who blocked or timed anyone out for a hashtag? We don't do that. Robbie P says, do you understand that distances between 2 points near the South Pole will be very different using a flat Earth map? You can't calculate the fuel you would need to navigate with the flat Earth. Very true. Not just that it's it's not just that you would crash the ship. Distances would be farther. This wouldn't work. The Athens 619 says his argument is, in my opinion, which is not an argument. Bombay says, wouldn't Copernicus be the Jesus of Glober? Helios 575 says, first sign of a fraudulent experiment. No error bar of margin of error. If you see an experiment like that, chances are it's intentionally faulty. Robert Williams says, ask wide angle max f-stop of P1000 versus telephone. Okay. I can't give you camera specs, dude. I don't know that much about a Nikon P1000 at all. Blair Sadowit says, the Millersville study found that Eratosthenes' method did not work on a flat Earth local site. And that's it.
Well, that has
All
been a fun day, isn't it? Any final thoughts, G?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So this was a conversation. It, you know, I'm always happy to hear these various different ideas about, you know, how the Earth isn't a globe. But yeah, so honestly, I don't agree with Mach's summation of this night of tonight. I didn't see any dodging or anything like that, but that's just me. I appreciate everybody that came out to watch tonight. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are what makes this show great. So I guess we'll go on ahead and head out of here unless FTFE, unless you got anything else to say.
No, just remember, guys, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat Earth.
I
And
would
don't
like
forget-
to say just real fast, Monday is Memorial Day, and even, you know, Americans and non-Americans, I would like to appreciate, you know, Craig for his sacrifice, and I know a bit about his sacrifice, and I'll be honoring him on Monday.
I'll be honoring you as well, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Same here.
Indeed. Oh, one more
Yep.
from AC Castillo. Read in a challenging and triumphant voice. Yup.
All right. Well, guys, don't forget to stand up, use your voice, all that kind of good shit, and we will see you heathens later.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right.
Nice one. Cheers.